Hall of Fame and Museum, and it's my pleasure every second year, we do this every second year, to welcome people here and to announce our newest inductees. Our official induction dinner will be taking place on Saturday, September the 28th at the Victoria Inn, and we know that there'll be many people in attendance. We have some in attendance today, some are out of town. But we want to make this official announcement, and we're very happy to do so. Before I do that, though, a couple of things, just some business I'd like to take care of. We are very grateful to the University of Winnipeg for dedicating this space to us. We work very hard to look after it and keep it up, but without the support of the University of Winnipeg, this would not exist. And you should know, as I think many of you do, that we are the only province in Canada that has a permanent site for a Basketball Hall of Fame and Museum. So what you see behind me is unique. There is no even National Basketball Hall of Fame and Museum in Canada. So we're very fortunate, and specifically I'd like to thank Dave Crook, the Athletic Director, Tom Nicholson, the Assistant Athletic Director, Darcel Paquette, Chino Argueta, and Dean Melby. Some of the people are at the back there. They give us great support, and we're very thankful to them for, as I said, dedicating this space for us. Also, I'd like to mention the committee members on our Hall of Fame committee who are here, and if they want to just stand and wave, they can. Vic Bruton is our past chair. Morris Glimcher is one of our committee members. Who else am I forgetting? Susan Johnson is here. I didn't see you. Thank you. Ken Apolko is at the back, and Wes Trimble is at the back too. There are others, but are not able to be here today. So these are people who help in terms of organizing the events and the space behind me. Also like to thank all of our honored members. They are listed on the big board, as you can see directly on the back wall, the big round board, and the names of the people that I'm going to announce today will be added to that after September the 28th, under the three categories of players, builders, and teams. I also would like to mention that the Manitoba Basketball Hall of Fame and Museum is now in partnership with the Manitoba Heritage Trust Program, which is a program run through the Winnipeg Foundation, and we are attempting to raise a certain amount of dollars, and that it will be matched with what are called stretch dollars from the province of Manitoba, and our long-term goal is to make this thing sustainable in the future, because some of us may come and go, but we'd like to see this be maintained. And if there is a regular income coming from the interest that we can generate from the money that is donated, it would go a long way to making that happen. So we're very happy to announce our partnership with them, and you'll get more details of that at the dinner in September, and many of you know about that already. I would be remiss in one other group just to mention, and that's Basketball Manitoba is a partner of us. We are a member of Basketball Manitoba. The Executive Director, Adam Wedlight, Program Director, Jillian Kaler, Dan Becker is the Technical Director, and all of our other friends in Basketball Manitoba are important to us and help us a great deal. So just a lot of thank yous. So let's get to the important stuff today, the official announcement of our inductees. Some of them, as I said, are present, some are not for various reasons. In the player category, the first two that I will mention are both graduates of the University of Winnipeg. And they are not here today because neither of them now lives in Winnipeg, but both of them have told me that they will be here in September. The first one is Balina, or as we used to call him, Balai de Gefe. He graduated from Kelvin and played 4 years here at the University of Winnipeg, was an All-Canadian in 1981, and a GPAC Player of the Year and GPAC All-Star many years. Balai lives in Ottawa now, and as I said, will be here in September. The second one, graduate of the University of Winnipeg, her name is Margaret Mulder. She now lives in Ajax, Ontario, came out of Barrie, Ontario, as it says on the sheet, was an All-Canadian in '88, a GPAC All-Star 2 times, and played on Canada's national team in 1988. So those two people, I know the University of Winnipeg is very proud of those two graduates, and we'll be proud to honor them in September. I'm going to jump ahead one and go back to the other in a moment. The third member of our player category is Mike Vira. Mike was really the first player that Brandon ever had. I played against Mike Vira. He could play, he could score. He was, as it says there, led the nation in scoring in 73, 74. And Mike was a great player. He came out of Oregon, and he was really Gary Howard's first recruit. Sadly, Mike passed away just last year and even missed the Brandon Big basketball reunion. But I've been in contact with his son, who lives in Vancouver, and his son has said that he will do his best to get here in September. So we'll be happy to honor Mike Vira posthumously in September. The third member, and this is a very special one for us. If you look, you can see that somebody's name on there appears twice. This is a first for us in the Basketball Hall of Fame and Museum, and that we are going to be inducting the same person in both the player and the builder category. We have two individuals, and I'm sure some of you could name them, Mike Spack and Ralph Watts, who were inducted in both categories, but at separate times. So this will be the first person to be inducted into both the player and builder categories, and I call upon their sons, Bob Thompson and Neil Thompson, just to come forward, if you would, and stand here with me as I talk about your mother. Isabel Duncan Thompson passed away in 2007, but she was a true pioneer for women's sport. She, as it says there, played for many years for both the Altomas and the Winnipeg Pegs, which are two teams that I'm sure many of you have never heard of before. I can only imagine what how difficult it was for women to be accepted in sport during the 1920s and 30s. But she was definitely a pioneer, and not only as a player, but as it says farther down in the builder category that she's being inducted, she was president of the Greater Winnipeg Senior Women's League for many years, vice president of what was called the CABA then, now is Basketball Canada, or Canada Basketball. So she was a true leader of women's sport. And her sons gave me a bunch of clippings, and I put them in this scrapbook now that has a record of all of the things, and it's amazing to see what somebody like she did, and some of the barriers that she must have had to deal with being accepted as a female athlete in the 1920s and 30s. So we're very, very happy to be inducting Isabel Duncan Thompson in both the player and builder categories. And we're happy that her sons are here today to share in that honor, and they will hopefully be there in September too. So thank you very much, Kevin. Moving on to the builders that we are going to be inducting. And a builder, of course, is someone who has contributed in many ways to the game of basketball. Some of them are coaches, some of them are administrators. We even have referees, believe it or not, who have been honored. I always make the joke, the game of basketball, as a matter of fact, it's interesting in that in the first recorded game of basketball was in 1900. It was played in the old Armory Hall, which then was at the corner of Broadway and Osborne. And the score was 4-1 for somebody, I'm not sure who won. But anyways, so that means the game of basketball has been played in Manitoba for about 120 years, coming up next year. And we have inducted into our Hall of Fame, I think there are 4 officials. So that's not bad, 4 good officials in 120 years. Oh my goodness. Wes likes what I... But anyway, so we even have administrators and media people. It's a wide category of people who have contributed in many ways. And we have, as we said, 5 people that are being inducted in September. First, and representing that individual, his wife Cease and son John, if they would come forward. The gentleman, of course, is Irv Hannock. Many of us knew him very well. He was a longtime coach at a number of high schools, and most notably at College Jean Sauvé, where he led them to a 4A championship in 2006. He was the Coach of the Year, a Mike Spack Award winner. He coached me actually once at the St. Andrews Super Saints. Now, how hard that must have been. He was executive director of the Manitoba Basketball Manitoba. And he did many, many volunteer activities throughout his career. Sadly, Irv passed away in 2017, but I know his family will be there in September to celebrate his induction as a builder into the Hall of Fame. So thank you for being here today. The second individual that we're honoring is Larry McDougall, who coached for many years at Dauphin Regional Secondary School, where he won championships, 4 championships, 3 with the boys and 1 with the girls. I only met Larry once in my career, and I always remember him just being a very nice guy. And everything I ever heard from other people was always what a gentleman he was and what a nice guy. And again, sadly, Larry passed away in 2017, but I've been in contact with his wife, and she said that she will be there in September along with, I think it's a daughter. She will be there in September to help honor Larry McDougall. So congratulations to the McDougall family. Our next gentleman has was gracious enough to drive in from Clear Lake this morning. Where's Bill? Where is he? There he is. Come on up, Bill. Here's Bill Moody. Bill is somewhat of a legend in the Westman area. Some for good reasons, some maybe for not so good reasons, but we won't go into that. But Bill coached and officiated for many, many years in the Westman area. Coached at Neelan, Clardy, Crocus Plains, many championships, and was also the coach of the BU Women's Bobcats team for 5 years, and he was 2-time GPAC Coach of the Year. So it was a time when the GPAC women were actually competitive, which for many of us who are younger, maybe we forget there was a time when the Brandon Bobcat women's team was very competitive, not only locally but nationally. And it was due mainly to the efforts of Bill Moody. As I said, he was a long-time official, and he also has presented in many clinics in the Brandon and Westman area. We're very proud to be honoring in September Bill Moody. Thanks for being here with us. And the 5th person that we're inducting, if you would come forward, please. Here he comes, Dennis Wilson. Dennis is well known in our basketball community, both as a coach and an administrator. He coached the Glenlawn varsity boys for many years and led them to a provincial championship in '67. He was the first president of the Manitoba Basketball Coaches Association, and a lot of his work was done as a school administrator, where he really helped develop very, very important programs. And you may not think that's important, but the role of an administrator in a school, I've been there for many years, is so important when it comes to sport. Because if you don't have someone who cares about sport and who offers leadership within that school relative to sport, a lot of times not much happens. So a lot of his work was done there developing those programs. He's done a lot of coaching at the Peace Gardens and the WNBA, and also with something called the B-Ball program that Vic Bruton initiated back in the 80s and 90s that ran in our inner city. So we're very happy to be honoring Dennis Wilson as a builder, and we'll look forward to him being there in September. Thank you. There are 2 groups of teams that we're honoring, and we have representatives of those groups of teams here this morning. First of all, the Dauphin Regional Comprehensive Secondary School Clippers. They were provincial championships in 74-75, 75-76, 79-80, and for those 3 years, they were really a power to be dealt with. And we have 2 members. We'll have many more in September. We have John Ochitwa and R.J. McKenzie. If you would come forward, please. I hope I have to. These 2 gentlemen both played on teams coached by Larry McDougall, correct? And I hope they would attest to the words that I just said about Larry. But the Dauphin teams were known in the 70s as being very, very competitive. That was at the AAA level, but really they could compete against anybody. And I've got some very interesting stuff that has been already shared with me as record of them. So we're going to be very happy to honor. I've actually got, who gave me the warm-up? You did. I've got the warm-up that they wore. So I'll have that displayed in September too. So thank you very much. We'll be happy to be honoring the Dauphin Clippers. And last but by no means least, there is a real dynasty that has occurred in Manitoba for many years that maybe some of you are not aware of, possibly, and that comes out of the fairly small community of Sprague, Manitoba, at Rossell Gray School, where the Raiders have become known as really a powerhouse, not only, but even today. And the CBC, if you know, did a documentary on them last year, and they had a reunion, I know, and there's a real tradition there in women's basketball. And you can see, and I won't list them all, you can all read for yourself because I'll probably stumble over the numbers, but there are 8 teams that we are honoring. 6 of those were at the A level, and 2 of them were at the AA level. So they actually played up, is the expression we use for 2 years by choice. But a real tradition of excellence. And I'm going to call upon, we have a number of members here today, and I'm going to call upon the ones that are here to come up, please. And if I say your name incorrectly, I apologize. Penny Havorka Alcock, Melissa Havorka, Michelle Theriot, Gina Davis, Dina Mathis, Nicole Sobering, Tara St. Mars, Sharon Stewart, and Kathy Thiessen. All of these young ladies were members. All of them were members of the, and you could see some of them are even wearing their colors even today. And as I said, we'll have a lot more information to share with you in September. There's a young lady there, and I guess maybe not, I haven't met her yet. Doris, is your mom? Doris Savorka, who has really helped me out because she is quite the historian and has all of the information. Usually this time of year, tracking down teams, I might have 5 or 6 names. I've got 56 already. So it makes my job a lot easier. So we're going to be happy to honor the Sprague teams from Ross L. Gray in September, and I know there'll be a lot of people coming in for that, for the dinner. So congratulations, ladies, and to the coaches too. So there's a Ross L. Gray ladies. Thank you. That's about it, unless if, the media is here. There's 3 press photographers I know, and Adam's we'll take some pictures. So if you could be around, we'd like to take them with the backdrop to the Hall of Fame. And feel free to take a look in there. There's pizza and drinks. Help yourself and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. But thank you all for being here. We look forward to seeing you on September the 28th. Thank you very much.